Deputy Boyd Barrett.
The credibility of this House and of politics generally has been called seriously into question by the Fobgate and Votergate scandals, but something that I believe even more seriously questions the goings-on in this House is the fact that more than 50 opposition bills passed by Dáil Éireann in majority, in some cases more than once, have been blocked, sabotaged effectively by the use of the money message. People before profit and solidarity have time to put forward motions. We have that time very rarely. That time is tomorrow. 11 days ago we submitted a motion to change standing orders, the rules of this House, in order to remove this blockage on all of those bills and allow their passage through the House. And then last night we received a letter from yourself saying that we would not be allowed even have our motion put on the order paper, never mind debated or voted upon. Now, Ceann Comhairle, the Constitution says the following: each House shall make its own rules and standing orders. That's the Constitution. So we are allowed, it's one of the few things we are allowed, it seems, do in this House, is put forward motions to change our own rules. We have put forward a motion to change the rules in relation to the money message. We made absolutely clear in that motion that we respected the constitutional provision that prevents opposition TDs or anybody but the government proposing a bill that seeks to appropriate or spend public money. It says it in our motion. But then we go on to say that other bills that do not spend public money or seek to tax anybody cannot be blocked by the money message, and to have the rules changed accordingly.
We can't have a debate on it.
So we believe, Ceann Comhairle, that this is an absolutely unprecedented situation, where we, in fact, it is being suggested in your letter that we change our motion. We, as an opposition party, have the right to put forward our motions. And we get a letter from you saying, if you change the motion to this, it'll be acceptable. Now, I mean, I just can't believe that, Ceann Comhairle. Right? We have the right to put forward motions. Okay. The Constitution says we have the right to put forward motions about the rules of this House. So we are most strongly objecting to a sabotage of the democratic process in this regard.
Thank you.
We want the right to put forward our motion.
Right. Okay, you've made your point. Will you resume your seat? For the general information of the House, I've ruled that the motion submitted by Deputy Smith for Wednesday's private member's business is not in order. This ruling is on the basis that the motion would allow certain private members' bills, which would constitutionally require a recommendation for government, to be passed by Dáil Éireann without such a recommendation. And there is a fundamental difficulty in seeking to put in place rules of the House in the form of standing orders that could allow bills to progress through the House in an unconstitutional manner. My decision is fully in accordance with long-established rulings and parliamentary practice on the authority of the Chair to apply, interpret and rule on standing orders and matters of order generally. In doing so, I am advised by the Clerk of the Dáil, who has long experience in these matters, and he in turn is advised by the parliamentary legal advisers. And I am satisfied that the advice that I have been given in ruling the motion out of order is valid and sustainable advice to which I must have regard. I understand it causes great difficulty for yourselves. I appreciate that. But you're also aware that the Dáil Reform Committee has, on the one hand, negotiated a memorandum of understanding with the government in respect of how money messages would be dealt with, and that we're further examining how Standing Order 179 may be dealt with in a report that we are due to receive in the next number of days.
Sorry. Ceann Comhairle, the salient rulings and conventions, as you refer to, are very, very clear on this.
Yeah.
Salient ruling 258 says, hold on, people need to know this. Quote, it is not a function of the Chair to interpret bills, acts or the Constitution. Salient ruling 59 says the Chair does not rule on the constitutionality of any measure coming before the House. That is a matter for the courts. And that couldn't be clearer. And what you have said in your letter is that you are choosing to interpret our motion as possibly infringing on the Constitution, when in fact our motion explicitly says it respects the constitutional provision you refer to, but seeks to change the standing orders of the House, which the Constitution allows us to do.
You made your point.
Right?
You made your point.
No, but hold on.
No, please. No.
But we are now in uncharted territory because you are now saying that a motion that we have down on the order paper that you now won't allow on the order paper, which we submitted 11 days ago, which is due to be debated in the Dáil tomorrow, that we cannot move that motion, or debate it, or vote upon it.
Right.
That is absolutely sabotaging the right of TDs to put forward motions in this House. That is totally unacceptable.
Thank you for that comment.
I agree and respect your ruling. My understanding from the Business Committee was that we were awaiting the report by the Clerk of the Dáil in relation to the whole issue of money messages, and this was what I understood to be agreed at the Business Committee. The Deputy referred to 54 bills that he states have been blocked. Government has yet to receive a request for a money message for 29 of these bills. We have issued reasoned responses under the Memorandum of Understanding for 10 bills and issued money messages for 3. There are currently 10 bills under consideration by Government. These will be dealt with in the coming weeks. And it should also be noted that 13 private members' bills have been enacted in the lifetime of this current Dáil.